0. Jesus gives the Sermon on the Mount. A. Who is Jesus? Who is this man who stands at the apex of human history? According to many, Jesus was a great man, a distinguished moral teacher, a wise human philosopher, and even a prophet. B. Do you know him? C. Here is an account of his story of Jesus whom we are talking about. 1. Jesus gives the Sermon on the Mount. See Matthew 5-7. A. Jesus not only healed many people and performed miracles that showed that he is the Son of God, he also preached the greatest sermons in history. The Sermon on the Mount in Matthew chapters 5-7 is observed by many as the greatest of all. It establishes the basic themes of his teachings. After pronouncing a series of blessings, the Beatitudes, Jesus spoke of the law and its fulfillment. B. He asserted that his purpose was to fulfill the law and the prophets, at the same time claiming the authority to speak in a way that went beyond the law. Jesus laid out several contrasts between his own teaching and that of traditional law, each opened with the phrases you have heard that it was said, but I say to you, Matthew 5:21-22. His intent was to move away from a law intended to be enforced by judicial authorities toward a standard of thought and commitment that could only be applied internally to one's own heart and life. He dealt with difficult topics of anger, adultery and covetousness, retaliation, and resisting evil. C. Finally, he came to the heart of his teaching, a commitment to love without boundaries. Jesus rejected the common attitude of loving one's neighbor and hating one's enemies, asking them to love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Matthew 5:44. There are 16 great sermons listed in the four Gospels, which includes the final tribulation, his Father's house, the bread of life, judgment and resurrection, the kingdom of heaven, the devil and his children, the good shepherd, against religious hypocrites, etc. D. Here's a part of Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, as recorded in Matthew 5:43-48. You have heard that it was said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, that you may be sons of your Father in heaven. He causes his sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. If you love those who love you, what reward will you get? Are not even the tax collectors doing that? And if you greet only your brothers, what are you doing more than others? Do not even pagans do that? Be perfect, therefore, as your heavenly Father is perfect.